Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2014 Founders Day ceremony. And a big thank you to our Piper Matthew McLean for leading us on our way here. I want to welcome all of you here today, starting with the Honorable Alan Roach, President Ala Abdelaziz, Student Union President Lucas MacArthur, President Emeritus Wade McLaughlin, founders of the university, members of the Board of Governors and Senate. I believe Andrew Sark, representing the Native Council of Prince Edward Island, is here. Distinguished guests, faculty, staff, students, alumni, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom Cullen, Chair of the Board of Governors, and I'm honored to serve as your MC for today's prestigious event. And it is a prestigious event as we honor our heritage and traditions by acknowledging people who have contributed to the university in an exceptional way, naming them founders. There are three underlying criteria for selecting founders: the quality of contribution, those who have made a significant difference and who have done so in a way that their recognition as founders would be seen as inclusive of others, a long-term contribution, and be people for whom this recognition will be a unique honor. I will now call upon Sister Susan Kidd, our university chaplain, to provide the invocation.
Let's take a moment at this joyous celebration to pause. And if I may, I'd like to suggest an image for this silent reflection, an image known well to islanders. Ponder for a moment a picture of a bridge. Whether Confederation or Hillsborough, maybe Cove Head Harbor or St. Peter's Bay, perhaps a bridge in Nigeria, Ontario, or Quebec. We all know bridges. We all appreciate and use bridges. And so it's fitting today that we celebrate bridges, living ones, real ones. Dr. Frances Gray, Mrs. Dulcinea Andrews, Mrs. Joy Akedi, and Dr. Ian Tahu. With pillars firmly rooted in values of family, faith, and culture. Joy. Committed and invested in a project that lay just ahead of her current sightline. Dulcinea. Gazing to the stars to give musical expression to dreams and to visions. Frances. Teacher and researcher to help current and future generations in preventative medicine. Ian. And in this afternoon, as we look to our left and to our right, we see bridges today, and for those days still unknown to us. Today, in recognition of our founders, we remember, we celebrate, we believe. May this be our prayer. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Sue. If I move these papers, they're going to blow away if I don't fasten them down. Next, I would invite our President and Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ala Abdelaziz, to bring welcoming remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chair of the board, Minister Roach, President Emeritus McLaughlin, friends, family, staff, faculty, students, and most of all, founders. Today we are paying a tribute to our founders. We have seen and we will see more about what these four fantastic individuals have done for this great institution. I would just like to pay also tribute to everybody here at UBEI, the faculty and staff that make this university what it is today, as well as the great students that are here with us today and tomorrow. They are leaders and they bring lots of joy to our institution. Founders don't just contribute during their time here at the university. Actually, their contribution continue, and we learn a lot from them. When you hear more about these four fantastic individuals, you will realize that why UBI continue to be among the best universities in the country. It's a university that actually prides itself on serving our students. We always say student first because I know very well that our faculty and staff work so hard to make this university a place where students come here, enjoy it. They spend the time learning inside the classroom and outside the classroom. There's many places in the country today where you can talk about difficulties. Our university actually is doing great. I just like to share with you one thing, that this year, once again, we are doing extremely well. Our numbers so far ahead of last year. So we are doing very well. But we are not going to stop here. We are going to continue working very hard to make sure that our students get the best education possible. You will hear the stories about our founders, and I hope that our students take a moment and think of what our founders did for this institution. Again, I cannot say more than, at this point, thank you for everything you have done for the institution. I know very well that the thank you stand for today and for tomorrow, and you will be always with us, and we are going to always learn from what you did, and I hope that you continue coming, visiting with us, working with us, making this university the best university every one of us want to be. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. I just look forward to hear the citation. I have seen them, I know how fantastic they are, but I'm so delighted that all of us will be sharing these words together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Alla. We will now move to the recognition portion of our ceremony. And our tradition is to have UPEI student leaders involved to help us recognize our founders. And I wish to start by calling on our UPEI Student Union President and fourth-year biology major, Lucas MacArthur, to read the citation for our first founder, Dulcinea Andrews.
Mrs. Dulcinea Andrews exemplifies what it means to be a UPEI founder. As a student having graduated from both the Prince of Wales College and the University of Prince Edward Island, Dulcinea demonstrates what it means to be a passionate student leader, a proud UPEI PWC alumna, and an individual who has lived a life filled with faith, knowledge, and service. Like many islanders, Dulcinea's interest in education began in a rural one-room schoolhouse. Her education and value of education was born after not being able to get to school during the winter due to weather. Her survival instinct led her to become one of the top students in the Hunter River area. "I was going to make it or else," said Dulcinea. After spending 1 year teaching in Pleasant Valley, Prince Edward Island, Dulcinea decided to return to the Prince of Wales College to complete her degree in music. During her time at Pleasant Valley, she fell in love with both teaching and her husband, David Andrews. While studying at Prince of Wales College, Premier Alex Campbell decided that the two post-secondary institutions on PEI would merge into one university. This merger was part of a campaign to integrate the island's Roman Catholic and Protestant communities, and was the desired funding and service model for future students. In 1968, Dulcinea was asked to sit on the University Planning Committee as the only student representative and only female. She described this as the moment when the fun really started. The mandate of this committee was to successfully merge SDU and PWC into one university. Well, as most of us could imagine, this was no easy feat. Dulcinea became the face for students during these discussions. Students would come to her with questions, worried about their future at the new university. She began writing reports about her experiences on the planning committee as part of her professional writing course. These reports were left in piles at the campus coffee shop. She became a conduit of information for students, and her reports brought each and every student inside the committee meetings and took them on a journey of creation of the university. She navigated the political waters of religion, academia, and the new public view on education. Some highlights of her time spent at both institutions was being part of the appointment of UPEI's first president, Ron Baker, and serving as the first student and first female on the UPEI Board of Governors. We had no idea what this university would be like, but wonderful things have happened, said Dulcinea. In May 1969, the last classes graduated from PWC and SDU, and the institutions were merged into the University of Prince Edward Island, which opened for the first time in September 1969. Dulcinea describes the atmosphere on campus as exciting and buzzing with the new university coming to the island. Although there may no longer be degrees granted from the Prince of Wales College, the spirit and tradition lives on through its students, especially Dulcinea. She is still an active member of our campus, attending soccer games, convocation ceremonies, and alumni events. Dulcinea has 4 children, Brian, Stuart, Charlene, and Kathy. 3 of her children are UPEI alumni, and Brian is also a current staff member in UPEI's Facility Management Department. Dulcinea recalls a meeting with the University Planning Committee in which they were discussing what this new university would be called. Dulcinea explained that they were instructed to choose a name that was representative of one island university. After listening to her fellow committee members debate possible names with no end in sight, Dulcinea looked up, shrugged her shoulders, and said with her infectious smile, "Why don't we call it the University of Prince Edward Island?" And to that, on behalf of the University of Prince Edward Island, I am proud to honor Mrs. Dulcinea Andrews' long-standing relationship with our institution and for setting a path for past, present, and future student leaders with this recognition as UPEI founder. Dulcinea, will you please come to the stage?
Thank you, Lucas, and congratulations, Dulcinea. I now invite Leah Inman to come forward to present the citation for Dr. Francis Gray. Leah is a 4th-year music student majoring in piano and has been a student of Dr. Gray's for 4 years.
Piano has been a significant part of my life for 13 years. And during the extent of my degree here at UPEI, I've used the music I create to express myself and push myself to be the best I can be. For me, this instrument is more than just an object, but more of a way of life. And I've arrived to this point through the enthusiasm and encouragement from a wonderful professor, Dr. Francis Gray. Pianist and Professor Emerita Francis Gray has been a vital member of the music department at the University of Prince Edward Island since its inception in 1969. Born in Quebec, Frances studied piano throughout her childhood, coming from a family of music lovers, later earning her associate diploma and Bachelor of Music at McGill University. Her graduate studies included a year in London, England at the Royal Academy of Music on a Canadian Commonwealth Scholarship, and both a master's and doctoral degree in music from Indiana University on Canada Council scholarships. At UPEI, Dr. Francis Gray taught in the areas of piano performance, piano literature and pedagogy, collaborative piano, and music theory. She retired in 2014 and received Professor Emerita status during the May convocation. I can attest that as an educator, Dr. Gray is a terrific inspiration. She is dedicated, hardworking, and expects nothing less from you than your best. And she seems to know exactly how to get your best from you. Frances highlights the social gatherings as some of her favorite memories during her time at UPEI, referring to her colleagues as one big family. When asked to point out her most significant moment, she blinked and responded, "Well, that isn't an easy question. I have 45 years to choose from." Apart from her own performances and those of her students, Frances said what is most significant to her are the friendships she's made over the years, including that of Marita McNulty, President Emeritus Dr. Willie Elliott, and Dr. Wendy Shilton, who she describes as a sister she never had. When asked what she is most proud of, she quickly responded, "My students." The success of her students is something that Francis Gray holds closely to her heart. And because of this, she recently launched the Dr. Francis Gray Music Award. This award will be launched at the Dr. Steele Recital Hall on Sunday afternoon, October 26th, during a concert entitled The Piano Collective, 2 Pianos, 8 Hands, which will feature Dr. Gray and 3 of UPEI's music alumni. During her interview, Dr. Gray spoke fondly of a former student, Carrie Ann Matheson, a 1996 alumna and 2011 Distinguished Alumni Award winner, who went on to become one of the assistant music directors at the Metropolitan Opera in New York. Carrie Ann currently lives in Zurich, Switzerland, working for the Opera House Zurich. Dr. Gray also shared her admiration for a recent student, Echo Lau, who recently received a large scholarship to complete her master's at the University of Ottawa. Dr. Gray's support and compassion for her students allows them to build and hone their skills, going on to achieve great things. A famous quote from the philosopher Plato says, "Music gives soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything." Thank you, Dr. Gray, for helping to feed my soul, spread my wings, harness my imagination, and for being a friend through the journey of music and life. With that, on behalf of the University of Prince Edward Island, it is my sincere honor to present Dr. Francis Gray with the recognition of being named a UPEI founder. Dr. Gray, will you please come to the stage? Oh, no.
That's gone. That's all right. Right on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Doctor. Oh, you lay it on me there. Thank you, Leah, and congratulations, Dr. Gray. I now invite Joy Ong to come forward to present the citation for Joy Ikeda. Joy Ong is a third-year food and nutrition student from Malaysia and an active member of the Society of International Students and the UPEI International Buddy Program. Joy.
It is a great honor for me to present Joy Ikeda as a founder of the University of Prince Edward Island. Joy Katie was born in Lagos, Nigeria, where she lived and studied until she came to PEI in 1990 to join her husband, who was working at the Atlantic Veterinary College. 1 year later, she became a sessional Latin lecturer at UPI. And in year 2000, Joy was hired by Bruce Coldwell as an international student advisor, a position she held for 12 years. When Joy received a phone call letting her know of this recognition, she was in disbelief. It was such a pleasant surprise, and it was an honor for me to be recognized, she said. Some of Joy's favorite memories at UPI include the selfless help that her colleagues demonstrated on a daily basis. The recruitment office, procurement department, facilities management, and residence services especially made an impression on Joy. She states that those are the people who made her keep going, and she couldn't have done it without them. When asked about Joy's attributes that stand out, many of her former co-workers unanimously say her warmth and her hugs. That's true. As with any new position, there were some challenges taking on the new role as an international student advisor. For Joy, it was a hard task to ensure that international students from around the globe were adapting well to the PEI culture, the food, the weather, and even the grading system at the university. I was quite surprised to find out that Joy initiated several of the support systems for international students at UPEI, many of which I've taken for granted over the past 3 years I've here. Joy worked tirelessly to bring flags from countries around the world to the W.A. Murphy Student Center. These flags represent the many countries that international students in UPEI call home. By liaising with Access PEI, she launched the voluntary ID card program for international students so that they didn't have to carry their passport with them as their main source of identification. And by working with Dr. Vian Tiemens, Joy launched a fund for international students. She started the Society of International Students, and in addition to securing off-campus work permits to enable students to find job opportunities in the PEI community. Joy laid groundwork for the internationalization of UPEI, enabling positive transitions for international students. Joy's dedication and commitment to the well-being of international students will be forever embedded in our beautiful campus. Lastly, I'd like to share a message from Joy to all UPEI students. She said, when you go through a university, you allow the university to go through you as well. University not only provides you with an environment for academic success, but also improves your interpersonal skills, which is necessary when you enter the workforce upon graduation. So study hard, but remember to take time for yourself, doing what you love with people you love. On behalf of the University of Prince Edward Island, it is my sincere pleasure to present Joy Katie with the recognition as a UPEI founder. Joy, would you please come to the stage to accept your award? Thank you.
Thank you, Joy, and congratulations, Dr. Akede. Our tradition on Founders Day is also to present the Honorable Eugene F. Whalen Green Hat Award. I now invite Dr. Larry Hamill, Atlantic Veterinary College professor and former graduate student of Dr. Ian DeHoo, to read the citation for Dr. DeHoo.
Ian and Susan DeHoo moved to UPI in 1985, intent on building a family and their careers in a quiet place. With the encouragement of the founding dean, Dr. Reg Thompson, and Bob Curtis, the founding chair of health management, They started that process even before construction of AVC was complete. Ian had finished his PhD and his veterinary training with Wayne Martin, another academic giant, at the Ontario Veterinary College in Guelph, then worked for government in Ottawa before coming to the Atlantic Veterinary College. His hard work started to build the global reputation of AVC's epidemiology program, eventually leading to the creation of UPEI's Centre for Veterinary Epidemiological Research. Along the way, Ian recorded many firsts for AVC and UPEI, including the supervision of its first master's student in 1988 and its first PhD graduate in 1998. His recognition and awards are too numerous to recite, but they include the Canadian Veterinary Medical Association's Sharing Award for contributions to large animal veterinary medicine, the Norden Distinguished Teaching Award, the Pfizer Award for Research Excellence, and the Hessian Award for Excellence in Teaching, to name a few. Ian is only one of 5 veterinarians elected to the prestigious Canadian Academy of Health Sciences, and in 2008 he received an honorary doctorate from the Swedish University of Agricultural Sciences. And more recently, he received an honorary Doctor of Science from the University of Guelph and the Calvin Schwalbe Lifetime Achievement Award. With more than 200 publications and many graduate students now distributed around the globe, Ian DeHoo had already put our institution on the world stage. With Henrik Strand and Wayne Martin, he added to that reputation by authoring the standard texts, 2 actually, one for veterinary medicine, veterinary epidemiology, and one used in human medical schools to teach epidemiology around the world. His leadership provided the gravity that continues to attract graduate students, postdoctoral fellows, and other faculty to do epidemiology at AVC. His involvement helped so many of us, myself included, take our capabilities to another level by always being there to help. Anyone, student or colleague, could come into his office for an enthusiastic discussion and leave more enlightened than when they went in. And based on personal experience, it never felt like you were being taught. It was more like being on an acquisitive adventure together, but afterward you just knew that you had traveled much further than Ian had. On Ian's shoulders, many careers were enhanced. I've always considered his relationships with colleagues as the gold standard for true collaboration. We brought connection to production, health issues, and data. Ian brought profound depth for world-class analysis. Several AVC initiatives have gone much further than anyone could expect using the foundation that Ian built. The Canadian Bovine Mastitis Network and the Canadian Excellence Research Chair are just 2 of those major initiatives made possible because Ian DeHoo was the key to unlock our collective potential. As Professor Emeritus, Ian DeHoo continues a busy teaching and research agenda with many areas in the world eager to gain from his experience. We're fortunate that Ian chose to come to PEI for that quiet life almost 30 years ago. It's difficult to imagine what a busy life would have been like. For his leadership and contributions to building AVC into a world-class epidemiology institution, for providing the essential foundation for others to excel, for his unabashed thrill when exploring difficult scientific concepts, and most of all for doing those things while being a friend to so many here. We are honored to present the Honorable Eugene Whalen Green Hat Award to Dr. Ian DeHoo, Professor Emeritus in Veterinary Epidemiology. And as Ian is away teaching in Scandinavia, we would like to invite Ian's son, Jeff DeHoo, to come to the stage to accept the award on Ian's behalf.
Thank you, Dr. Hamill, and thank you, Jeff, for taking part in today's events in Ian's absence, and send our best wishes to him as soon as you're speaking with him, please. The recognition of Founders ceremony is also a time to honor staff and faculty who have contributed to UPEI in an exceptional way. This year it is my sincere pleasure to also honor staff and faculty who have served the university for many years and who have recently retired. please join me in congratulating the following list of retirees. I think the Prince Edward Island's probably exporting electricity today with this wind. I don't know. Sean Hennessy, Roberta McDonald, Barbara Curley, Sherman Elderkin, Donna Murnion, Judith Shepard, Margaret Collins, Oricia DeWidiak, Margaret Horn, Sherry Isle, Margaret Leahy, Lisa Miller, Christine Wilson, Catherine Schapp, Kathy Callahan, Timothy Ogilvie, Garth Painter, Patricia Dorcas, Carol McCarville, Basil Favero, Geraldine Forsyth, Dawn Hayes, Robert Lofsted, Leonard Doucette, Clarisse Arsenault, Francis Gray, and Gillian Prophet. The university values your faith, knowledge, and service, and wishes you all the best in your retirement and future endeavors. This year also marks an important milestone with the university's continued connection with Seniors College of Prince Edward Island. Seniors College came into existence 15 years ago with a mandate to offer a program of continuing education to Islanders 50 years of age or older. Seniors College also serves as a huge welcome mat to returning and new Islanders. Predicated on the ideal that we never stop learning, Seniors College of Prince Edward Island has grown from a modest beginning of 3 courses to over 105 courses in Charlottetown, Summerside, and Montague. Courses are now held in community centers, halls, and churches in addition to our campus. Membership has grown to over 500 students, many of whom are alumni of this university. In 2013, Seniors College launched its own online registration system, and in 2014 it became an incorporated not-for-profit entity. Seniors College is a huge success. We are glad to play a small part in that success. That success would not be possible without the dedication of a volunteer board of directors who work tirelessly to ensure the college stays relevant and a vibrant part of our island community. I am pleased to recognize many present and past members of the board, as well as current members of the college who are with us here today. Thank you for making Seniors College and lifelong learning such an integral part of our island and our university. That concludes our Founders Day ceremony. There will be a reception following this event at the Skjerman Market Square, and I believe at that time for the founder recipients and so on, the photographs, official photographs, may be taken down at the Skjerman Square, and I believe our piper Matthew is still with us. Is that right? Yes, he is. Matthew's going to lead the way. Thank you very much, everyone. It's great to have you with us, and have a great day.